Hello everybody, this is Magic Cat, and you're watching Magic Cat Gaming. Today we're going to be exploring some Orzhov. Let's take a look at this little beauty. Now I decided to run Knights, because when you're talking about Orzhov, we're going to have some good options in Kaldheim once that's released, but for right now, I think Knights are where it's at as far as Orzhov goes. So we've got 4 Venerable Knights, 2 Foulmire Knights, 2 Shining Armor. This is a bit of a meme card, I'm not actually expecting it to do much. 4 Worthy Knights, 4 Blacklance Paragons. This is a great card, worthy of being ran in non-Knight builds. 4 Order of Midnight. Get back Acclaimed Contenders, get back Worthy Knights, really good card. 4 Smitten Swordmasters. All I can say about this card is don't expect to hit for a lot. Just, getting off 2 or 3 for a single black is good enough. And then, of course, the 2-mana creature is also good. Because it's a Knight. Acclaimed Contender, 2 Liliana standard barriers. This can be a backbreaker against a lot of control decks. They try to shatter this guy. You hit them with this, get a bunch of cards back, and not to mention a 3-1 that they still have to deal with. Good card. Murderous Rider, of course. Circle of Loyalty for the memes, and 2 Agadeem's Awakening. Another backbreaker, because hitting this for 3 can a lot of times get back 3 different Knights, and that's just a pretty good swing. 1 Ardenvale for the long-term game, and a couple of necessary dual lands. Alright, let's get it cracking. So once again, if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. Help a dude out. Alright. Well, we've got lands, we've got spells. I'm gonna run with it. Opponent plays a very interesting forest. And a Gilded Goose. Alright. We're gonna lead with our temple, and we're gonna see what we get. Another Knight. We kind of want to get to a more high impact card, and we've already got an Order of Midnight, so we're going to go ahead and bottom that. Yep, that's a really good turn 2 play. Get yourself a 3/4 flyer and an extra land. Not much you can do about that at the moment. We're going to go ahead and play our Worthy Knight, set that up. Next turn we might Acclaimed Contender. It depends on what they do. They went and got a Swamp, so they might have some creature kill for our Worthy Knight, which wouldn't be great. Wouldn't be the end of the world either. I'm expecting them to attack. They did not attack. Interesting. Since they did not attack, we're going to go ahead and get our second white source, and we're just going to go ahead and Acclaimed Contender. We'll get our human, and hopefully, yep, we'll get to dig for something. Alright, Murderous Rider is almost always the choice because it's a kill spell in addition to being a Knight. So we're going to go ahead and sit on that. No attacks. We'll make a food. Seems like a silly choice to make for a 3/4, but yeah. Oof, and the Sterix. Okay. We'll see what they hit. Land and Gem Razor. Alright. Gem Razor's not terrible. We're going to play this. We are going to go ahead and bottom that as well. And now we absolutely cannot leave that Sterix around, so we're going to go ahead and kill that. And then we're going to pass a turn. He's got another Sterix, but this is only going to pull the top card for a Lotus Cobra. less impactful than you might think. Not able to mutate again, so that's great. And we're going to go ahead and murderously ride the other. Alright, and now for the fun bit, where we start to turn our creature sideways. But what if he attacks Worthy Knight? Well, we have Shining Armor. For the memes. He's got all the land in the world, but nothing to do with it, so he conceded. Alright. It was not a bad game. Let's play another. I do like it because I've got 2 Murderous Riders, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Getting back multiple Acclaimed Contenders might be my path to victory. We'll see how this goes. Now, they're in red-black. They might force me to discard some stuff. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but, you know, especially since I can probably get it back with Order of Midnight. But he's also got a good chance of just straight up killing my dude. And he straight up killed my dude. Alright. That's a thing. Alright, but I did get the Venerable Knight, so I've got another play. I play the Venerable. I'm going to Order of Midnight to get back my Order of Midnight. That's some value right there. Now if he land and then Giants, I don't feel too bad about that because I just play my Acclaimed Contender, get some more value. Keep the train rolling, so to speak. Ooh, tap land. Acquisitions Expert. I will reveal you my Order of Midnight that you already knew about. Not worried about that. Okay, so Acclaimed Contender. Ooh, let's get that Worthy Knight. Get that going next turn. We're going to go ahead and attack because we don't mind putting the counter on the Acclaimed Contender. If we get an untapped land, we can Worthy Knight and then Order of Midnight. If we don't get an untapped land, we are probably going to Acclaim Contender again. Opponent has slowed down. Sometimes that means that they just don't have a play. Sometimes it means they had to run and use the bathroom. Hard to tell. All right. Well, we did not get our lands. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're at least getting good cards. Circle is good, and theoretically we could get enough to actually cast it. Let's go for that. So we're not going to attack, because on tap land we get to play Circle, and that makes things difficult for him. Alternatively, we could end up doing something else. If he attacks with the Bone Crusher, we probably block with a smaller Contender, even though it slows us down on Circle, just because we do have plenty of value left. Circle of Loyalty is really like the nail in the coffin against this guy, because he can't really remove it. He might have artifact removal, but likely not a lot of it. And it's the ability to make a 2/2 every turn will be, well, 3/3 with the Circle. It'll be pretty backbreaking. Alright, so we are going to block here for sure. Now if he forces a sack, he's going to lose the Rankle. We've got the Murderous Rider for the Rankle, and we'll hit him for 4, depending on what he does for us. Discard a card. Discarding a Murderous Rider seems like it's a good idea. We're going to go with the Blacklance Paragon, just because it's going to be the least useful to us in the long run here. He dropped a Blood Chief's Thirst. That's an interesting choice. Must have a lot of creature kill in his hand then. Alright, the third Murderous Rider. That doesn't feel too bad. Although I'd really, really like a land. We're going to go ahead and move to combat first. Alright. And let's go ahead and get rid of that Rankle. Now, optimum play is probably to wait till he declares his attackers, so that if he has a second Rankle, he can't just play it and use it. But honestly, if he plays another Rankle here, like, that's probably not bad. He can force us to discard, but he'll force himself to discard as well. That, you know, I don't know how well he wasn't really able to take advantage of it last time as far as having a good card to discard, so he's probably unlikely to still be able to do that. Yeah, that doesn't feel good for him, I'm sure. Alright, that's the second land we were looking for. We're going to cast our Worthy Knight. And we're going to cast our Order of Midnight. And get our human. Had the Heartless Act, but it's not quick enough to stop the human. There's no point where he's got priority. Well, I guess we're going to get rid of a Rider because we really do want our Circle. He's got the Thirst. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead and play our Murderous Rider. And we're not going to worry about drawing a card. We want the creature because we want to be able to cast our Circle of Loyalty next turn. We really want to get that down. So Foulmire Knight comes down. He's got the Rankle, and he's got the ability to force us to sacrifice, but we've got a non-Knight we can sacrifice, so that by itself is not dangerous. He can force us to discard. We've got the extra Murderous Rider, which we absolutely will. He does have a Blood Chiefs for the Knight, so now we're in the tough spot of if he forces us to discard, do we discard the Rider or do we discard the Circle? We're going to discard the Circle because he's out of resources, and we with a Knight and the ability to kill his Rankle, we're still in this game. If we don't have the ability to kill his Rankle, I guess we could try to race, but we'd still be dependent on drawing a top decking a card. So we're going to go ahead and discard the Circle. And yeah, the human goes away. Alright, so we're still somewhat in this then. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to Murderous Ride his Rankle. And we're going to get our life back. He could force us to discard it, so what we're actually going to do is gain 1 life. And now we've got the extra card on the side here. Yeah, that doesn't help him. Murderous Rider is actually a 4-point life swing, which means it's pretty darn good. Oh, and we just got a Worthy Knight, so we're going to be able to do a nice little combo here. Alright, and if he doesn't get something this turn, it's basically over. Nope, that land's not going to do it, so we're going to go ahead. Nope, he scooped. It's only been about 15 minutes. We're going to get one more game in, or we're going to try. Let's see what happens here. Orzhov Knights is a pretty respectable deck, but it's an aggro deck. It's hard to do those wrong. You just gotta put a bunch of low-cost creatures and give them a little bit of removal backup. This deck might be a little light on removal backup in the current meta, but it's not terrible. Okay, we do have lands and spells, so we're going to go ahead and keep this one. We're going to lead with the Temple. Smitten Swordmaster, we're going to go ahead and leave on top. Digging for lands might be right here, but I do appreciate having something that costs 1 mana, even if it's just the one side of it. We're going to go ahead and play the Tournament Grounds, and we're going to go ahead and play the Worthy Knight. Now, there's every chance this guy untaps and shocks or bolts or whatever the Worthy Knight off the field. That's a thing that happens. I'm not too worried about it. Oh no, oh no. We get to play some cards. Alright, so here's the question. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and play Curry Favor and then the other half of the Smitten Swordmaster. Because I don't want to overcommit to the board, and everything else is like kind of more of an instant speed trick. So we'll just develop a little bit and hope that next turn we get to keep up Standard Bearer and Blacklance Paragon for, you know, tricks. Royal Scions. Okay. Maybe we'll be Murderous Riding instead. Honestly, that seems like a really good use of our mana this turn. We don't need a 4th mana, so getting down the Ardenvale tapped is fine, because we're going to go ahead and destroy the Royal Scions and get in for 5. Now he could absolutely untap and Wrath, and that would suck because, you know, we've got the Standard Bearer, and not having the mana to actively use it would be sad. But we've got the creatures and the mana to rebuild. Another Scion. Aggressive.
What is my strategy here?
So now we don't have the ability to actually pump here, so we're going to go ahead and end up using all of our stuff to bring down the Royal Scions due to 1. We're going to play a land. Now we can't actually activate the Ardenvale because the second white source is not actually available to use abilities for. It has to cast a Knight or Equipment spell. So that's not great. We can throw down the Knight as a Death Touch, but that's an instant, so but the draw card side is instant, so we're going to hold on to it. We're kind of hoping that he tries to Wrath our board, and if he's successful, we'll just cast the Standard Bearer. Standard Bearer will get to draw us a bunch of cards. Okay, he's going to try and kill some stuff anyways.
I enjoy the proper application of knowledge.
we're going to go ahead and run it out, even though we only get to draw one card, because we need the value. To Blacklance or not to Blacklance? We'll hold off. Now, Shining Armor, that's a pretty good trick that we have here. It might be relevant against the Pyromancer. Not with the guys we have in the field right now, of course, but, you know, elsewhere. We want to make sure Royal Scions dies, so we are going to attack with everybody, except for this guy, who will go face. Let's hope that works. Blocking the face damage. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Murderous Rider comes down. And we pass the turn. Now we're leaving up Shining Armor here. Shining Armor can protect the Murderous Rider from one blast of the Ironcrag Pyromancer. Yeah, see, that's a good use of it here. It's going to force him to use more resources for it. He can draw that second card and then blast again, but if he wants to actually kill the Murderous Rider, he's got to hit it one more time. Nothing wrong with that. Now then, we can go ahead and equip here, and that gives us the ability to swing in with our cards here and actually land some damage. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, and let's kill his Pyromancer. How about that? Now, with all the cards this guy's drawing, he's playing a surprisingly small number of lands. A different problem we have, though, is that he's going to be able to create a lot of 1/1 flyers, and if we don't get another white source, we can't even come close to competing. Alright, Worthy Knight. That gives us half a chance at least. We're going to cast both halves of Foulmire Knight because we want the card advantage as best we can. Venerable Knight's a good one, but we're just going to go ahead and cast the part that he knows about. And we attack with the 3/3 because he can't kill it. I mean, theoretically he could have a shock, but he's just going to block it, and that's fine. Oh, he does have the shock. Alright. That's not a big deal. We'll move the Shining Armor over to the Worthy Knight to protect it and let him attack and be just a general thorn in the side. We might move it over to the Blacklance Paragon for similar reasons. You know, it kind of depends on how many creatures he has. It's very likely we won't be able to attack with the Worthy Knight because he'll have too many ways to draw cards and chump and Recarde. So like now he's going to have 4 1/1 tokens. It'll be a while before he can turn anything sideways, so we got to protect that Worthy Knight. The fact that he shocked our 3/3 instead of the 2/2 may be a mistake on his part. Alright, we got our white source. Ardenvale's now active. We're going to go ahead and make sure we tap this one for white so that we can Venerable Knight. Shocking there. Not a tremendous surprise. I'm not shocked, you might say. We're going to go ahead and throw the Worthy Knight, or the Blacklance Paragon down, and hit our other Blacklance Paragon to get an extra 1/1. And now we can equip this to our life-linking Death Toucher and get in with everybody. If he stack blocks here, that's absolutely fine. He'll take 2 damage, go to 9. We'll continue to have, you know, resources. He's running out of stuff here. Even with all the drawing that he's doing, he's eventually going to run out. And while he can pay 6 to draw, he's still only at 5 mana. So, yeah, it's starting to look good for the good guys here. Now, Scry helps him in that it'll make it less likely that he's going to draw nothing. He's got another Shark Typhoon, making a 3/3 Shark is great. He gets a couple of 1/1s besides. Nothing to complain about there for him. Now, so here's the question is, do we attack with the stuff that gets eaten by a 3/3? I think the answer to that is yes, we do. We get in with everything we can. They can block the 2/1. The important thing about the combat math here is that he's completely tapped out, so there's no way that he kills the Venerable Knight, the Blacklance Paragon, and the other Blacklance Paragon without also losing his 3/3 Shark token. And that's the important thing here. Alright. So now we play our own Venerable Knight again, and we're going to go ahead and let the Shining Armor sit, because the Shining Armor will prevent us from getting an extra 1/1, and we want that 1/1. He can make he can make 2 1/1s every turn now just by paying 6 mana, which loots, which is good for him. But the thing is we need to be able to outrace him. But he's tapping out at the moment to do that, so not too terrible. Okay, and this is a good place to be. We're going to go ahead and gain some life, deal some damage. We're going to go ahead and equip. And we're going to go ahead and cast our Smitten. We didn't have to cast our Smitten there, but, you know, not a problem. That's a questionable choice if he actually does block that Venerable Knight, because it lets me make a bigger Knight. Which absolutely goes here. So now he can't just draw a card, because that ends up like putting him to where he's got to block questionably. Alright, we lead with Acclaimed. Get more resources down. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, he had the negate, which is fine. It's a little late to the party here because we were able to get a 3/3 down, and while that would have definitely ended the game for him, he's down to 2. We still have the same amount of resources we had at the beginning of the turn, plus a 3/3. So even if he's able to create 2 1/1s, that's definitely not enough this turn. So he needs to draw something that he can cast for 2 mana that keeps him in the game. And frankly, there's not a lot. Yet that won't do it. Good game. So Knights brings down another opponent, and you know, it's a pretty fun, pretty effective deck. So if you want to give it a shot, enjoy.